Hi everyone, my name is Erin Scott and I am a school counselor. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Google form for your counseling appointment slips and then how to integrate that into your virtual interactive counseling office. So we're going to start in Google Forms. So if you go to your Google Apps up here, if you haven't used Forms before, it's the purple one. It's really good for any kind of surveys that you're going to give out. A lot of teachers use it for quizzes and exit tickets, but today we're going to use it for an appointment form for counseling. So we're going to start a new form and it's going to be totally blank. Let me show you really quick in my virtual office what my current counseling appointment form looks like, just so you have an endpoint of what we're working towards. So if students click on the appointment form link, it takes them to this form. So it has some questions, first name, last name, what you want to talk about, how they want to talk, and some timing questions. So I'll show you how to add each of these into your form. So if we're going back to our untitled form, let's title it Counseling Appointment. Counseling Appointment Request. So it's different from my last one. And then you can type in any description that you want. Like in my last one, I did, if you would like to meet with Mrs. Scott, please fill out the form below. You can type in whatever description you'd want. And we are going to be adding questions one by one on here. But, I always like to make things a little bit prettier. So if you go up here to your little paint palette, if we click that, you can change that little header. And you can upload one from your computer or you can select one from here. Let's just select one at random and we're going to insert it, move myself out of the way. And you can see it makes this nice pretty header and it changes your theme colors too, which changes the colors of just your little borders and your buttons, but something a little bit extra in it. You can change to some soft background colors. So I have a little bit of purple. If you noticed on my counseling appointment form, I made this banner up here, so that's why it looks a little bit more official. But like I said, you can add any image that you'd like. So let's go to our questions. So some questions that we want to ask, and there are different formats that you can use. So multiple choice, you can have short answer, paragraph, checkboxes, drop down, so many different options. But this first one we're going to do first name. The reason I say first name is because originally on my appointment form, I had just name and I had so many kids filling it out with just their first name. So I didn't know who to reach out to necessarily. And you can see it automatically changed it to short answer. Google kind of notices if it's a common thing, what type of question that is. So it's going to put short answer down there automatically. My big tip, click required for this one, because you want it so that they are not allowed to submit unless they have their names on it. I know that teachers would really like to have this when we have in-person instruction. You can't turn it in unless your name is on it. So we want to make sure that that is selected for this question. So we are going to make a last name question, obviously, but I'm going to make it a little bit easier by just duplicating this one. That's what that little button was below here, so we can duplicate, which means just copy the exact same question again. You can delete it, mark it as required, and then there's just a couple other options there. So I just changed that quickly to last name. I'm going to keep it as required, and that is already on there too. So let's add another question. How you do that is right up here with the plus sign, click add. This one I'm going to make multiple choice because I'm just going to have, what do you want to talk about? And you can change your options as you go. So maybe it's friends, maybe it's family, and I'm just typing and clicking enter and it automatically creates another option for me. Maybe school or my feelings. Maybe if you're at the high school level, it's questions about college. Maybe it's scheduling questions. You can have those as options too. But you know what? We as counselors know it's never just one of these things usually. So instead of making it multiple choice where they can only select one, I'm going to make it a checkbox option. That way they can select as many of these as they want. And I'm also going to do an other option. So if you click add other as that example, what it does is it automatically adds a checkbox for other and allows the kids to type, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to leave these as required. You can if you want to. It's kind of up to you. So then you can see some of the other things that I had on mine was then I put kind of an open-ended question. So what do you want Mrs. Scott to know before you meet? That way they kind of can write a little bit of background for you. And that one, I want to give them enough space to do it. So I'm going to make it a paragraph one. All right, we're going to add another option. So I have a multiple choice one for how they want to contact me. You can add that too. But I want to show you this one here real quick because this one is a little bit more complicated to make. When are you available? And I always put in parentheses for this one, check all that apply. That way they know that they can select more than one option. And see how it automatically changed it to checkbox for me. But I actually want it to be the checkbox grid. So that's going to give me those rows and columns. So if I put Monday as one, Tuesday as another row, Wednesday, and so on. Or Wednesday today. And then in our columns, you saw on mine I had times, but you can just do morning, midday, afternoon, whatever it is. And it'll automatically create those into the rows and columns. So each Monday will have all of those options that you have. Each Tuesday will have all of those options if you add it like this. So we are pretty much finished with this. Obviously, you can add as many or as few questions as you want to. I'm just trying to keep it a little bit more basic for right now. But again, remember, you can always add, make it a required response. You can delete, you can duplicate, but there's also some other things to play around with here. You can add an image or a video or a new section where like they have to keep going throughout the form. But right now, we're just going to keep it simple with this. So this automatically saves, which is cool. But we're going to change a couple of options before we make it official. First, we're going to click up here and see it automatically puts this title up there. You want to have that as the name of your form. And then you want to go over here to your settings. So your general settings, you can collect the email addresses of everybody that responds. I don't have that selected because I don't really need the students' email addresses. Maybe if I didn't have that first last name, I should have done that. But that is an option for you. This will restrict it to only CCPS email addresses, so only the staff ones and the student ones. But you can uncheck that if you want to send this to parents. If you have it limited to one response, that means the person, when they log in, they can only do it once. But we might have kids that want to fill out multiple appointment forms with us, so I don't have that selected. This one allows them to edit it after they submit. So once a kid sends in the appointment, if they want to go back and change it, they can if you have this selected. You don't really want that selected. And see summary charts and text responses, you definitely don't want that one checked because that would allow any respondent, so anyone that filled out the form would then get to see the results of the forms. You don't want to do that because you don't want the kids to be able to see other students' responses. So all of that is under your general option. If you go to your presentation option, this will allow the students to show the progress bar. You don't really need that. Shuffle the questions. Same, you don't really want that. Show the link to submit another response. So when they get to the end, there'll be a link if they wanted to fill it out again. But this confirmation message is also what will show up when the kids click submit. So for this, maybe I'll just say Mrs. Scott will be in touch. And you click save. So we have our settings adjusted. And then I'm going to show you in a second how your responses are collected. But the first thing I want you to do is when you go to your responses, go to this little button up here, your three dots, and click Get Email Notifications for New Responses. So what this will do, it will send you an email that says somebody has filled out your form. So that way you know if a student has completed an appointment slip. Now you still have to go in and see what the student filled out. It won't tell you who filled it out when you get the email, but it'll let you know to check it, which is the good thing. So first, before I show you what responses look like, let's link it to our virtual office. So you can see in my office, I have a little appointment form on my desk that I have linked if you click it. So let's go back to the one I was demonstrating with, and I'm just going to delete what I was working on before. So I just put a little box on here. And actually, I think I did a shape first. So I wanted to have like a little rhombus shape to look like, the dimensions of a paper on there. And then I rotated it. We learned in our last video. So I'm going to flip it so it looks like that. And I think I'm just going to link this box, and then I'll show you also how you can link text within it. But right now I'm going to find that little chain link and see how it pulls this up. All right, let's go back to our appointment form. I'm going to click on the send button. This send button, you can email your form directly to people, but really what we want is our link. So let's go back and let's get this link matching up with our little chain link. Click copy. It's going to copy that for us. Go back to our office. We're going to click paste and apply. So now if anybody were to click even on this piece of paper, it'll link to that form. But maybe I want some text on there too. I'll just go up here, make a little text box. This is a very, it's big right now, but appointment form. You can write whatever you want, but since it's going to be small, I just wanted to keep it simple. So see, very teeny tiny little writing. But I want to actually link this writing to the form too. So what I'm going to do is just highlight what I wrote. I moved it. Select it, highlight it, and we're going to go back to that little link. See how it has the text of appointment form up here? We're going to paste that link again. That way, it hyperlinks there too. So no matter where they click pretty much on here, it's going to take them to the appointment form. So let's test it out. We'll go to our present mode. Let's link our form. See, it takes us right to the form, and it looks, they only see the form. They don't see all those little options that you had. So let's fill it out. Let's say Aaron Scott, because this way I can show you what our responses will look like. I really want to talk about friends and family, Mrs. Scott, and I want you to know that I miss seeing people in person, because that is definitely true. All right, so when am I available to meet? See how this displayed our checkbox. So let's do Monday, midday, and afternoon. Tuesday I'm busy, so let's do Wednesday morning too. All right, now I'm going to click submit. If I had tried to submit without my name, remember it would have just kicked me right back. But this is our little confirmation message that we typed in before, and then this, if I wanted to submit another one, they can just submit another one. So let's go back to where we were with our request forms. Look, now we have one response. If I had my email pulled up, it would have said somebody filled out your counseling appointment request. But this is where our summary will be. So if more than one of us had filled this out, it would give you a little graph. But since it's just, it's just me that filled it out, it's a very simple graph. But if you want to see each kid's response, you can go to individual, and as you select through, the numbers will increase as more students fill it out, and you can select through and it'll show each person's entries. So I can see that Erin Scott wants to talk about her friends and family because she misses seeing people in person, and I know that I can reach out to her at these times. So that is how you create your Google appointment form, and also how you link it into your Google Virtual Office. Now, if you have any questions on how to do this, feel free to reach out to me again as you're working on this, and my email address is emscott@carrollk12.org. So please reach out if you need anything, and I hope that this helped you set up your counseling virtual office.